And we should try it.
Now we should try it.
We don't want to show it to anyone if we don't really think it's delicious.
Always want to try on the side of the dough. And you can see here the flakiness of that dough. I mean, it's falling almost like a puff paste.
That is good, Jack. I think the dough is excellent.
I think we did well.
I think so. I think we deserve a little glass of wine.
And I think we deserve some wine.
I think we do.
Well, we hope you're going to do it for your friend.
Oh, you'll love it.
And cook together.
Bon appetit.
And happy cooking.
A presentation of KQED San Francisco.
Today is Salmon Day.
It's Salmon Day, and we have half a dozen recipes for you. Lots of equipment, fish scalers, shears, a clamshell, a bicycle pump, and even an inflated paper bag. Today is Salmon Day.
Happy cooking.
Bon appetit. That's a beautiful salmon,
isn't it? I mean, those are raised salmon. It's a species of Atlantic salmon, but it's raised usually in Norway or in Canada or in Chile, you know. We should scale it, right?
Yeah.
Depend whether we use the scale or not. This is a good scaler, but I mean, when you do that in your kitchen, it really makes a mess.
It goes all over everything.
So we have another method, right?
I think this is a very good idea.
Yes.
I've never seen this before.
What we do, you put it in a big bag, and you can use a scaler like that, which is really good, or even a shell. One of those will work.
I think that's...
And you do it in the bag so that you don't make too much of a mess in your kitchen.
You have to do both sides, don't you?
See, so you have all of those tiny scales, you know?
Yes, that would be all over us.
So I'm going to rinse it 1 second. Here we are.
Now you're going to fillet it. I think it's terribly useful for all of us to know how to fillet one of these great big fish.
Yes.
And Jack is really going to show us how.
Good. And look how fresh it is. You can see the gill there,
beautiful.
you know, bright red like this.
Good.
Inside, you know, pink it is, and your nose particularly will tell you. There is 4 or 5 ways of boning it out. And I tend to go from this side under, you know, under the gill, and turn your knife and just go.
Now let's see what you're hitting there.
Here I'm hitting flat.
So then there's the bone.
Flat on the bone, and I'm trying to stay on that bone. Flat.
A very sharp knife, of course.
Yes, a good sharp knife. So that's
beautiful.
One side. And you know what you do when you cut it on the thing like this? See, I follow that bone, but that bone is round, so there is a little bit of meat left here. So what we do, we scrape it to put that in our tartare, right?
Good.
Here we are. You see?
Don't waste a thing.
Won't waste anything at all.
But that's very useful to know. Second time, same as the first,
Same
really.
thing. I just follow the other side. Now, what happened here, we have the rib cage on each side, so I have to slide my knife underneath.
Seal those bones.
Yeah. Like this.
It's essential having a really sharp knife.
Yes. not only a sharp knife here, but one fairly long, you know. And then you slice as little meat as you can, of course, out of this. Now, what we have to do out of this, if we have the skin, it's practically all clean now on this side. We have to remove the bone here. As you know, those bones is that line that you can really feel. Julia, right here.
Yes.
And we have a little plier.
You can feel them with your finger there.
You have to remove that line of bone because that line of bone is straight down into the fish.
Now we're going to do what Jacques calls instant gravlax, or it's a very fast one in which you cure it in slices and it's ready to eat in about half an hour. So I'm going to start out with this mixture of 2 tablespoons of salt and 1 of sugar and pepper, about a good teaspoon there. Put this mixture in the bottom of the platter. We'll use tarragon and
chives if you want.
And chives. Sprinkling in the bottom of the platter too.
And now I can give you a slice, and this is raw salmon.
It's kind of squashy, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, as he slices it, I'm going to put just a little sprinkling of the salt cure down on each of these.
And what happened is that it's so thin there that the action of the salt on it will take only so long to do. I mean, the time that it takes the salt to melt.
So this will be nicely arranged so that all you need to do is to serve it. This is called gravlax and also dilled salmon. This is a Scandinavian dish. I lived for about 2 years in Norway, which I loved, and this was one of their best foods. Well, I think that's done now. I'm going to sprinkle the herbs on top. Now it gets covered with plastic and weighted down. You can really serve it in about half an hour. 2 hours or even the next day would be even better, I think. So we'll weight that down and refrigerate it.
And there I wanted to cut a piece of fish to saute. You know, very often we saute a piece of fish on the skin this way.
Well, that will be nice.
And if you want to do a steak of salmon, you can use a piece large like this and then cut right through the skin, only cutting through the skin a little bit. Then you can fold it this way. And it looks, you see, like a...
It just looks like a big salmon steak.
Like a big salmon steak,
well, that's a
but
good idea.
without the bone in the middle. So that's a nice way of cutting it, too. So now we're going to do the tartare, right? Shall I give you a little bit of shallots for that?
Okay.
Notice that on the gravlax that we did not put any lemon juice or vinegar on top because the acidic agent or the citric acid in the lemon juice is going to cook the salmon. In that case, that's what we want to do. So cut a little bit of the skin to do a type of fine julienne, you know, to put on top.
Or you could grate it, I guess.
We could grate it too.
Now, are you going to put garlic in this, Jacques?
I don't think so. We have the shallots.
There are a few things
We
that
have
you
the
don't
shallots.
put garlic in.
And a little bit of the lemon juice here. That's it. A little bit of Tabasco. Shall we put salt, pepper? You want to put salt and pepper in this?
Now, would you rather have black or white pepper?
Black, without any question there.
You like speckled food.
I do. I also like taste in the food, and the black pepper has more taste than the white one. So what I have to give you, in addition to that, is a little bit of olive oil in there.
Okay. This is excellent olive oil. See how we like that.
You want to taste it?
Good.
It needs to season a little bit, and I think we could serve
Little cucumber.
some cucumber, maybe. So we peel the cucumber. I like to use that vegetable peeler, you know, to cut slice of cucumber this way. Yeah, beautiful. I have a whole bunch now, or little strip of cucumber with one cucumber, and as you can see the center of it, the seed, then you don't have to use it. Now we could use them this way, or I could do a little bit of a julienne for it to prevent it. What do you think?
This, I'll get a nice plate. How about that? Do you like that plate?
Yes. This could be
Season
seasoned with a little bit of a dash of salt, and even a little bit of sugar on there. You think so?
Sugar brings out the flavor in cucumber.
And dash of vinegar, maybe? I like vinegar.
A little wine vinegar.
Yes, just a
But
few
that's
drops
interesting
like
about
this.
the sugar in the cucumber. It does make a lot of difference.
Yes. And maybe we do like a little nest.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to put a bit of bread around. Don't you think it looks good this way?
Yeah.
We can actually, use those also just in slice as is. I do that sometime on the gravlax to put it underneath, to give it more volume.
That's a very
Or to
that
put
would be
it
a good idea.
around, so that could be seasoned also. A bit of sugar, again, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper.
Black pepper.
A little more of this, vinegar, and this could be mixed. So, maybe.
I think that's ready to eat already.
Yes, I feel that
That's a good idea. And it's much prettier than just having slices of cucumber, don't you think?
Right. And it's quite easy to do. All you need is a good vegetable peeler.
So that's an exhibition of cold salmon dishes. Now we're going to roast a whole fish. This is an Arctic char. It looks exactly like a salmon. How can you tell the difference? It doesn't have any scales.
No
for one
scale,
thing.
yes, and it does come from Alaska or way
Yes.
up north, and it's very, very delicate.
They have it in Norway too. It's called a sea trout, a sjøørret.
Oh yes? In France we call it omble chevalier, and it's very expensive
do?
also,
Yes.
from the Great Lake. So we doing it whole just seasoned?
And also we have
the
to
gill
take the
out.
gills out.
Okay.
I always use my little scissors like that. Cut it on either side, and then push it to the other side. And then it's attached at the front and the back. And you just have to throw it out, because there isn't anything edible in it. You just throw it out.
Okay.
Now, all we do here, and it's very easy to roast, I'm going to put in a little handful of chopped shallot. And I have some
Fresh thyme.
fresh thyme in there. We want a little white pepper in because it's my fish.
Good. Your fish
I know
with
you
white
like
pepper.
your black one. And this time, you could use kosher salt. And that's all it needs. I think it's just a little rubbing with olive oil.
On top.
You don't need anything else because it really cooks in its own juices.
Yes, this is a very rich, very fatty type of fish.
If you rub that on, I'm going to put it in this beautiful dish here.
This is stainless steel, so.
So this will be cook and serve in the same dish. Now this is going to go into a 400-degree oven, and you can tell when it does because suddenly the fish juices begin to come out. You can suddenly smell roasting fish, and then it's done. So here it goes into the 400-degree oven.
We're going to continue with a few other dishes. One of them I wanted to show you is a salmon cooked on the skin with a little bit of salt on each side. You don't put anything in the pan and just cook it on the skin. It's cooked what we call a l'unilatéral. You see the way it shrinks? It will only cook on the skin to get it crisp. We don't turn it.
And even the top is going to cook.
Yes.
Well, that's amazing.
And I cover it like that. So
Cover.
that's one of the easiest way
great.
of doing it, yes.
That's nice having an easy roast and an easy saute, isn't it?
Shall we do our paper casing for the
Let's
papillote?
do that.
Okay. So you have one way of doing it, right?
I'm going to do the simple way.
Okay.
You're going to do the fancy French way.
I have no idea what your way is, right? So I don't know how it is.
I'm just going to take a nice big piece of fish there. And I'm going to oil it just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just going to start out with a little sauteed shallots. Would you saute them for me? Just, I think, in a tiny bit of
Alright.
butter.
Tiny bit of butter in there. You want to put them here.
There.
Thank you. And this is to put in your papillote, right?
This to put in my pepper.
Okay.
This is also going to have a tomato.
Would you like your shallots now?
Yes, with the butter too.
Right on top. The
Well, this-
shallots are sauteed about 10 seconds also, just to soften them,
This
right?
I have parsley, which is
Just
so.
parsley, okay?
And that's all we do to this. Hold it all along. This is a recipe I saw in Venice. It's very cute. woman cook teacher named Fulvia,
Oh, yeah?
and she does this. And then it just goes in the oven like this.
All right. Yeah,
So
it's
that's
smaller.
ready.
Okay.
That's certainly easy. It couldn't be easier. And it really tastes very good, you'll see.
Well, I'm going to do another type of papillote, but you know, before I do the papillote, I'm looking at my fish who cook only
Good.
on one side, and it's cooked, you
Well,
see?
that's amazing. How long was that cooked?
Oh, about 6-7 minutes. So what we want to do is to serve it on a plate just like this. We serve it on the skin. You see, the skin is very crusty on the other side. And there, remember, I didn't put any fat in it, and I have at least a tablespoon of the fat from the salmon. Yeah.
Heavens, if you're on a fat-free diet, then
Yeah,
you
but
could
that's,
eat.
yeah.
You wouldn't eat
I'll take it
salmon.
out. Take it out to put a little bit of butter in it. A little bit of butter like this. I think I'll put a piece of onion, maybe. We've been using a lot of shallots, so maybe I'll use a tiny bit of finely sliced onion like this. The onion saute for half a minute, 30 seconds or so. I think I'm going to put some capers in there.
Oh, that's always nice.
Yeah. And lemon juice directly in my pan here to make that mixture. And I like
Smells
that mixture
good.
directly on the salmon with a little bit of the parsley here and there.
Well,
You know,
that's,
this is a very
well,
fast,
that's very nice. Very fast.
dish, yes. So we'll do a papillote with that big piece of parchment paper. Yeah? Again, I'm going to do like you, put a piece like this with a little bit of salt and pepper. You mind if I use black pepper?
No, it's your
Okay.
fish.
Okay, good. And in this, I think I'll put a little bit of zucchini, maybe in a julienne, to have it. The vegetable will cook at the same time than the fish, in a type of hot house, if you want. Okay. So we do a little stick of zucchini. I have carrot. I did like that too. And the carrots are raw too. Everything is uncooked. And maybe I put a couple of shiitake mushroom. The stem is always tough in the shiitake mushroom.
You
to
always
use it.
you keep the stem for stock,
Yes, yes.
but you don't eat it because it's too tough.
Well, if you do a duxelle, for example, if you
Yeah.
chop it very fine, then it's fine. But otherwise, it's tough. So a couple of those.
It's nice using zucchini. It's always find a reason to use zucchini, particularly if you're a gardener.
Okay, here we are. And then on top of that, I want to put a little piece of butter.
No garlic?
No garlic, no oil, just butter. I could put garlic in it.
It's up to you. It's your
Okay.
dish.
Now maybe I'll put some parsley also. Okay, so we fold it in half.
Well, you're going to do a fancy
No, you just
bowl with garlic.
you just fold the end of it, all around. You need to make a casing.
Much nicer than the way I did mine.
Well, it really
Well, this
doesn't
is
matter
a fancier dish.
what counts is whether it's good or not, ultimately. So we go around. This has to be very tight, so you can use maybe a little container like this to really rub it. And at the end of it, you could put it like that in the oven, but it's good to inflate it a little bit. And we
That's a
could
straw.
blow directly in it. Otherwise, in a restaurant, what we did the last time was doing this.
I'll
So you're
pump
going
it for you.
to pump it. I put this here. Wait a minute. I
They
think.
win.
Okay, go ahead. That's getting there. That's good.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I'll take the end of it, and all you do, you twist the end of it, and that creates a kind of hot house, there. And I like to maybe brush this a little bit with oil to help it brown the paper,
Oh,
Brown a
because
bit
this
there.
is going to be a dramatic presentation at the table.
Oh, usually a papillote,
Oh,
often you do
yeah.
it at the table, yes. So, what we do, we'll put our papillote here. And there. And that in
That's
about
very pretty.
a 400-degree oven for about 10 minutes. You know, that should take. So, good. Here is our papillote. This is really hot.
Very dramatic.
So, sometimes the papillote is served directly in the paper casing. Sometimes the paper casing is removed. Sometimes you put it directly on the plate, and the maître d' in front of you will cut and serve it directly in there, you know. But
if you're
frankly,
serving it at home, then what?
serving it at home, you can let the people open it themselves, or you can, at that point, open the whole papillote and just slide the fish out of it, which is perfectly fine too, because it will slide very easily outside. Do you want yours in the papillote or outside?
No, I want it out.
Outside. So again, do it in the same way. Looks beautiful. Just slide it out. There is a lot of juice. Oh, here it's broken. So that's it.
Oh, and there we are.
And here we are. By the time it's finished cooking, one or the other would end up with the same thing, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So now, shall we see whether our big fish in the oven is cooked?
No, we're going to very
Beautiful.
carefully look at it and see how we can tell. One thing you can tell is, do these come out easily?
That's right.
And they do. That's definitely done. And then I think you look in the inside. There shouldn't be any red in it, the middle, and there isn't any.
This, you would want to remove the skin for that, right?
I would think. And you're going to serve it any way you'd like.
Oh, the skin, as you see here, will remove very easily. That's it.
And what's lovely about it, too, it's been steamed in its own juices. Would you put a little parsley? Do we have some? Because some people are disturbed by fish eyes.
Yes, so we can hide the fish eye. You can put wedge of lemon around. You want me to do that while you're doing the sauce?
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to make a beurre blanc, a white butter sauce, simply by boiling together the juice of the lemon, butter, shallots, and fish or chicken stock. It's very easy and perfect with salmon.
All right. Shall I put some of the vegetable on the side? If you were going to the dining room, would you put a little bit of those vegetables around?
Yes, that's very pretty.
And maybe
That's nice.
those right here. So shall we
And then
carve a portion?
And then let's serve it.
So at that point, you would follow the line in the middle here. And actually, this is the back fillet, this is the belly fillet. The back fillet is always a bit nicer. So there, I think one portion like this would be basically enough. And it will slide off the bone.
If it doesn't slide, it ain't done.
And we do the same thing on the other side.
And what's lovely about this is wonderfully juicy. I'm going to put a little of this lovely sauce on here.
And at that point...
And then put a few vegetables on.
All right. Those vegetables at the table. Some tomato. Yes, that's really good. Maybe a wedge of lemon on the side.
That looks very nice.
And when you finish, of course...
Let's show the other side.
When you finish, then you would remove that old bone. You know, the whole thing with all of the little tiny bone, you know, there is hundreds of them, as you can see, come out of it. What you could do also is to open it like I open, like a flower here, and then remove the central bone and put that back on top.
And then bring it to the table.
Put that back on top, yes, and bring it to the table, you see? Well, I think this is a very beautiful dish.
I think it is, too. Well, this is just a few of the many recipes you can do with fresh salmon. So I shall say, if I can get this out of my fork, which I can't. Bon appetit.
And happy cooking.
It's lovely to cook with you, Jacques.
And with you, too.
And here's to you.
a presentation of KQED San Francisco.
Today we're going to do roast. We have a magnificent roast shoulder of veal and a big leg of lamb.
And we're going to do that with all kind of incredible ingredients, which a few years ago you couldn't find anywhere except in Europe. Fresh herbs, great cheese, mushroom, and so forth.
And we found them at our local supermarket just up the street. Well, let's get going.
Good. Happy cooking.
Bon appetit. We're going to start with the veal, and I think we should discuss what to look for when you buy veal.
The color here, we have a beautiful color veal. Nice pink, it's not too reddish. And we can season it very simply with a little bit of herbe de Provence, which is a mixture of different type of herbs. I'm going to take some of your salt here. That would be part of the inside shoulder, top blade, they will call it sometime. And that's, in my opinion, a very good, it's very lean piece of meat and very moist. If you want to hold it together, better we can do it with a kitchen twine like this, making an attachment
Butcher's
here.
kitchen twine.
Yes, don't use nylon thread
No.
to melt, you know.
No, that would
And what you
melt.
do here is very simply a loop here for the brownies, you know, or the people who have a boat, that you do a half each. And you pull that this way, and again the loop. And after you ease it very gently underneath, then pull it again tight,
And that's
and again.
easy to do once you know how.
Exactly. This is very useful for your Christmas package, you know. From here, you go gently, roll it on the other side and do the same thing here. So finally, you bring it back again to attach it wherever you started, you know. And it does hold it together nicely, you know.
Nicely explained.
Yes, thank you. Now, can I have a little piece of butter? We're going to saute that in a large saucepan like this because I need the space to put a lot of garnish around. Okay, here we are. But first, the first part of it is to brown the veal on all face here. And that's what's going to happen in the last 10-15 minutes.
While you do that, I'll cut some of the mushroom.
We'll work with the mushroom, right?
We're using wild
Can I-
mushrooms.
Can I help you on
You
this?
please do.
Okay.
These are just plain ordinary mushrooms.
Those are oyster mushrooms, you know. And those now are raised, you know. They used to be strictly wild. I personally pick up quite a lot. Every year I pick up in the area of 200 pounds of wild mushroom of about 20 different types.
You have to know mushrooms, though.
You do, but you know, in most towns you can go to the Mycological Society, often the extension of the university, and you go on foray in the wood, and it's great. But if you don't know anything about mushroom, please don't pick up mushroom on your lawn and eat it. It could be very dangerous, you know. But it's a great,
Oh, it's great,
it's a great fun to do, yes. So here you have a mixture, huh? Here you get type of yellow food chanterelle here, a kind of wild mushroom. Those fall out in nothing, so we just break them apart. What are you
I'm gonna
going
use
to
some-
do with it?
I'm going to saute them with some shallot and a bit of butter.
Let me see
So I
my
can
roast
use
now.
plenty of butter.
So turn it on the other side. You're starting getting beautifully brown here. Okay.
I'm just going to put these mushrooms in. They have to exude their juices at this point. Just put them all in.
Okay.
I'm also going to put in, I have some chopped shallots. Put plenty of them in.
I think on the garnish I'm going to put a leek in there instead of onion,
That
you know.
would be nice. Let us all washed.
Yes, it's all washed, and most of the part of the leek, I mean, which is white and very light green, you can use the green part for something else. Maybe I'll add a couple of lemon rind I'm going to put around for taste.
This veal likes lemon, doesn't it?
It's true, yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put some savory here. I have some savories which are related to thyme and all this. You know? So this is browned nicely all around. And I do have crystallization of the juice here. I want to put this around to cook. And of course, a little bit of white wine. I think about a cup of white wine. Then I will cook that first for about 20 minutes before I put the rest of my vegetable in it.
Here's our big leg of lamb, and this is a whole leg of lamb. It goes from where?
From where?
There.
From the hip. Yes.
But it also has the tail in it, and it has the hip bone.
Yeah. This is the place where you sit down when you go horseback riding, you know? What we are going to do first is remove that big hip bone. No, you follow the shape of the bone,
Yes,
really,
which is
and you go
convoluted.
up to a little bit convoluted, yes. And then there is the hips, yeah, that one
Now
here.
this, interesting,
see.
this is the ball joint of where the main leg attaches to the hip.
Yeah, because you can see
can
here
see it in
that
there.
joint right there, the end of the femur, if you want, and getting into the socket of the pelvis bone here. So that whole part. See, the interesting part of it, of course, you can buy it, and you don't have to do it. But frankly, when you know how to do that, whether it's a leg of pork or a leg of anything, it's always the same cut, you know. And we can do a great stock with that.
That's interesting. There was this part here, that ball joint was attached to the hip by tendons, and you have to cut them
Right
out.
there, you have to
in
cut
there.
the tendon inside. But that you do a great stock with it. So now I'm going to remove more of that fat. And as you can see here, there is a big layer of fat. We're going to stuff that with rosemary and garlic, right?
Yes, I was supposed to be doing this while you were doing that, wasn't I?
Right. Okay, some garlic and a beautiful rosemary here. So I'll continue getting out of the fat here. And as you can see, most of the fat I get out is on top of the hip, really. What it gets here, it's really just a skin here. There isn't much to take out.
I'm just going to say I'm chopping the garlic and then putting a little salt here.
Oh, good.
And then I'm going to puree it with the flat of the knife.
That's exactly what we need. I'm giving you some rosemary in there, right?
What am I supposed to do with this
puree.
now?
To chop the whole thing together,
Chop
we
it.
decided.
Okay.
That was your recipe this morning.
No, this is not my... We must have read it somewhere.
Okay. We're gonna make little hole here, sliver, and insert that in there. You want to do a little sliver to show them a different way of doing it? So this is really the classic little sliver of garlic that you put in there. So you make a little hole and you slide one. This one, to make it a bit different, we've done the puree here.
Yeah.
Which at that point is
We can
another
put
way
either one in.
of filling it up in there, which is nice also. Here, you want another piece here?
That's all right.
Good. And that really flavors the meat. Of course, you could stuff
do
it.
this well ahead and just keep
fact-
it in the fridge for
In
a
fact,
day.
it's good to do it a little ahead.
Yes, I think so, 'cause then it would permeate the meat more thoroughly.
Don't forget the underside, you know.
Oh,
I think we have about enough, yes. Here. You have a little bit left, you know, I can rub it
oh.
on top of it. And this is the part here, just in front of that bone, which is the top sirloin, the hip steak. And if you cut it this way, you have a nice little roast here. This is maybe the most tender part of the
That's
leg.
very nice.
Yeah, it is, yes. Okay, so we put some pepper in it, some salt on each side. Pepper again. About 400-degree oven.
400.
Yes.
How long would that?
Well, that's going to take a while until it registers about, take it about 130-degree internal temperature.
Oh. How long is it going to stay at
Well,
400 degrees?
Until it's cooked.
You're going to cook it at 400?
Yes, I cook
whole
it at
time?
400.
Gosh.
Yes. Well, you can lower the heat, but what's important is to let it rest at the end for a while.
I was going to cook it at 350, but...
Oh, well. We can lower it and cook it at 350.
I'd like to taste it your way.
How is your mushroom doing?
I haven't done anything about them for a while.
So this is
They were
cooking
just
there.
sitting there, but they've reduced their juices. I'm going to cook them a little bit now to evaporate their juices.
Uh-huh. Good. So we have plenty of time because I am going to take a look at my roast. Now I have my roast, which is reducing quite a lot. I have almost no more juice. And I thought that I was going to put my endive directly next to it. Braise the endive with it. Belgian endive, right? This is actually the root from the chicory. It's grown into sand, in cellar, or covered in the dark, so it doesn't get exposed to photosynthesis. So there is no green happening, then it grows white out of it. And it's a very interesting process.
Now,
of course.
I've never cooked it this way.
Me neither.
No, you neither.
Yes, we're trying it.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to put my roast on top of it.
Well,
and
you
I'll
can't
see.
blanch it, but this should give... Are you going to baste it with any of that juice?
No, I'm going to put a little bit of salt again on top, a dash of white wine or stock. I don't have stock here, so I'll put a dash more of white wine. And now it should cook a good 45 minutes now, I would think.
Well, I'll be interested to see what this tastes like, sir.
Me too. And now we're going to do our gratin of eggplant.
Of eggplant.
Right.
Now, when you pick an eggplant, be sure that it's shiny and firm, that the skin is firm on it. If it's dull and wrinkled, it's going to be bitter, isn't it?
That's what they say.
And this, they say, this size is male, and the males are better than the females, this eggplant. I don't know that that's true or not.
It seems that the male have less seed than the female.
I think so. These are very nice eggplant.
I think I have a female. I have a lot of seed.
Oh, yes, that's female.
You know, you can see at the end of it, they say, there is a mark where you can see whether it's a male or a female. I never know which is which. That is in the eggplant.
We want to salt them and put on some herbs, or we put on some sort of mixed Italian herbs.
Mm-hmm. You put some oil on top?
Yes.
And I put a little bit of the herb, that's good.
That can go into your 400-degree oven with the lamb. We cook them just until they're soft.
Uh-huh.
So there they are, that's soft.
Yes, that's soft. And what we are going to do, it's a mixture of those with zucchini, right? With the tomato.
Mm-hmm.
A real Provençal type of gratin, right?
You do the tomato and I'll do the
You do the zucchini. Okay.
Aye.
Cut the tomato. You want to cut them not too thin there because everything has to cook together.
Yes.
Now this is classic in the south of France as well as in Italy, of course, all around the Mediterranean basin. Those type of gratin, or what we call a ratatouille in French, or a caponata in Italian, a mixture of sauté, eggplant, zucchini, onion, and so forth. In that case, we are turning that into a gratin. We put a bit of olive oil there. So we start arranging them. So a bit of the herbe de Provence, or Italian seasoning. 2 of those. Zucchini, right?
Mm-hmm. And the tomato on?
And we put the tomato.
Well, I'll put a little salt on each layer.
You do each layer, right?
All right.
Good, we go this way. I think I put the whole one like this because they are actually nice to be long like this.
Okay.
Good. And the tomato.
Then we're going to have just enough, aren't we?
Just right, yes, that. That's good. And then now, Parmesan cheese, breadcrumb, olive oil, herbs. What else we want to put on top? This is the Parmesan, right?
A little more oil, don't you think?
Oh, yes. Oh, we need oil on top, yes. Sometimes it's nice to mix the breadcrumb directly with a bit of the oil.
That's a good idea.
You know, because it get a nice
And these
glossy...
are fresh breadcrumbs again.
Yes. And if you rub it like this, I mean, you don't put enough so that the thing get gooey. You see, it's still pretty loose.
That's a good idea.
But it's nice. So at that point, it get a nice browning. A little bit of oil more on top, you want?
So we could have a little bit.
Okay. I put pepper then. And that's going to join the lamb.
Good.
In the same oven.
I hope you have room
Around
there.
400-degree oven. Yes, we have room right on top here.
Good. Well, that's great.
A good 35, 40 minutes, you know.
And now we have the white beans that are going to go with the lamb. These are great northern beans. You could use pea beans, any ordinary white bean. And then I always soak my beans overnight in cold water, and then because some people have problems with beans, I pour out the water and put in some new water and cook them very, very slowly for about an hour to an hour and a half until they're almost tender. And then we're going to make a finish.
Then we make a finish. That's
And that's
beautiful.
a pancetta.
Yes, but so we cut this. We're going to saute that. That's the flavoring of the beans, right?
Put a little.
You want it about that size? Yeah, okay.
You don't want to smoke, because
No.
then let's say something like bacon would take over all of the flavor.
Yeah, I guess at that point you would really have to blanch the bacon a couple of times,
Yeah.
right? So we
Now what
put
else? We're
this.
going to put an onion
I think some.
and some garlic.
Oh, yes. You know, maybe we should slice the garlic this time.
All right.
Instead of chopping it, we slice some garlic. One enough onion there, like a cup and a half of
Lots
onion.
flavor.
How about some fresh thyme in it?
That's always
Fresh
good.
thyme would be good, yeah.
I'll put in 5 cloves of garlic.
So you have your fresh thyme, onion, garlic, pancetta, and we want to saute that.
I'm going to taste these beans. They had little, if any, salt. They probably need 20, 30 minutes more cooking.
Yes, but that will cook with this, right?
Yeah.
I'm giving you back that stuff, okay. Here we are. A bit more garlic in it.
That needs more salt.
Okay. This should really cook 8-10 minutes. You know, there. So the start
Well,
get mellow together, but we're going to.
Let's say that it has cooked.
Let's pretend
No,
that it has
after
cooked.
10 minutes, when the onions are tender,
And I
No,
put that in there.
that's going to be lovely. And now this will take about a good half hour to simmer up to perfection. So do it well enough ahead. You could do it in the morning even and serve it later. Now let's see how the mushrooms are. I think they
nice.
could have
Beautiful.
a little more butter in there.
Okay.
And then I want them shaken around. Give them a good shake.
This is a heavy pan, yeah.
Oh, that is.
Good.
Now I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of flour there and shake it again.
Oh, good.
And then a tiny bit more. This is just to give a little liaison.
Good.
I want to put a little cream in and then stir it around. And that
Yeah,
should
it's going to be a
boil and
nice-
thicken a bit.
Nice cream sauce. I can't wait to test it. Oh, yeah, it's thickening.
I'm going to put just a
Can't
little
quite
bit
see.
of...
This is pork, right?
Yeah. Now we're going to taste it. It's a very nice, simple way. See if it needs any more salt and pepper. It probably does.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's no
It
salt
needs
in
a little salt.
there. Yeah.
It's terribly important as you're finishing off.
White
Taste,
or black
taste.
pepper?
White.
White. Here's white pepper. Okay.
I should say, no, that was done. You can do that ahead and then reheat it just before serving.
Uh-huh. I think the veal is ready
Oh, good.
because I see that it's pretty tender.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to carve it and serve it with a natural juice.
You're going to have lots of nice sauce there.
Yes.
Mm.
It shrank a little bit, but
Well, it always does, doesn't
yes.
it?
But that veal was very, very lean, you know, which is the beauty of it. So maybe I will arrange those endive first before I slice this. I'm going to take my endive here.
Well, that really did cook. I was, doubtful, as you remember.
They are very cooked, but I like the endive well cooked. And in the bottom here, I have some of the leek that I put at the beginning, but that I'm going to put it right on top of the natural juice. And now, I think
Well,
it's just
that
about
looks
done.
very good.
Yeah. You could add a few.
There's hardly just a little tinge of pink.
Yes.
Some people are serving veal rare or
Too pink,
medium
yeah.
rare, and it hasn't developed its flavor at that point,
Right.
I don't think.
I think this
That
is
looks
just
just
about right.
right.
Yes. We put it here. It's a nice way of serving it home style, a big platter like
Yes,
this.
I love that.
And putting the natural juice right on top of it and around.
That's going to be mighty good, I think.
Have some curly parsley here, just for color at the end. I think it helps a little bit on our endive. And a touch on the veal. And this is it with
And that's really just right. If it's overdone, it's lost its juice, and
It
if
would
it's
be.
underdone, it don't taste like anything.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Well, I think it's ready.
Well, it better be.
Here. Want to taste it?
No, that's
Nice and tender.
nice. That's well
That's
ready.
beautiful color, huh?
It is. It's
Is it?
lovely.
Well, the leg of lamb is has been resting, for a while. What I'm going to do to carve it, first maybe I'll remove if there is any fat. But frankly, look, there is basically
there
no
isn't.
fat. So I'll put a bit of white wine or stock. This is the stock we did with the lamb bone.
That's to give it
To a little bit of natural juice.
call it an au jus
Au
sauce.
jus. Yeah, that's it. We're ready for the beans now, right?
Fine.
Okay. Ooh, they're nice.
Oh, those look lovely.
You want to put some
I'll put some on this
on a
on
plate
this
there?
plate there.
Oh, good. And I'll put the rest right here. I think I'm going to carve directly in there.
Good, right on the platter. Good.
Yeah. So we would
That
carve.
looks lovely.
Yeah, this is a good party for what, 10, 12 people?
Yes,
huh?
I would think so.
So you will want to start cutting it here, and the crust. I love the crust like that,
Yeah.
that far.
And that looks just right. That's good. I would say about medium rare, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I don't like it so red that it's a squashy red. Do you?
exactly, yeah. I mean, but this is a question of taste, but for me, that type of color, reddish and
That's
medium rare
very
like
nice.
that is what fine. And of course, at the table, you could serve directly into the plate of your guest, or then arrange it in this manner. This is important for that roast to have rested. At that point, it is easier to cut. We're almost at the center here, and the color is just about right, huh? I will put my juice in there. And I think that I'll pour directly a little bit of the natural juice on top here. It's good, and on the beans, And probably a little bit for you here, on your beans. Here we are.
There's the eggplant.
It looks absolutely beautiful.
Well-
And with lamb, of course, we need a nice Pinot Noir, maybe. We did enjoy
This is a
doing it.
wonderful meal.
It was.
Happy cooking.
You're stealing my line. And bon appetit.
This was fun, Jack.
That was
Let's
great.
do it again.
Let's do it again.
A presentation of KQED San Francisco.
I have a new recipe for potato for you.
Good.
It has dehydrated onion, natural flavoring, dextrose, disodium, dehydrogen, pyrophosphate, whatever it is, I can't even read it.
Gosh, Jack, I don't want any of that stuff in my potato. I just want a lot of butter and a bit of salt and pepper.
I agree with you on that one.
Good. Well, we're going to have some wonderful recipes for potatoes today.
Happy cooking.
Bon appetit.
I think one of the most basic of all potato is baked potato.
I think it is.
You know? Simple. One thing that I don't like is when they bake it with aluminum foil around. You get all steam inside, you know?
Are those Idahos or Russets?
Yeah, those are Idaho potato, baking potato, you
Well,
know?
do you also like the Yukon Gold?
I love the Yukon Gold, don't you?
I think that's a Yukon Gold.
Yeah, those are Yukon
Yeah,
Gold.
I think
But you
they're a
can
great
really,
all-purpose one.
see it, you know,
Yes,
look at the
I
color.
think they're
you know,
delicious.
yeah, beautiful, yes.
Now, how about these little...
Oh, those are the fingerling potato. This is really good to saute. They are even more yellow.
yes,
you know?
yes.
Those are really good. That's the red potato. Those are blue potato.
I don't like them.
You know, and this is like purple inside. It's new style. I mean, it's...
If you want to make people scream, you use them.
Yes. But you know, one of the best potato to have actually is just a plain baked potato like this. You know, I mean, I cut them this way to
Yep.
press it open, right? Shall we put a bit of cream on top of this?
Give a little salt. Give a little
put a
salt
bit
and
of
pepper.
Yeah, you have salt there.
Let's put a little
A
salt
bit of pepper
there.
if you want. I'll give you some chives. And sour cream.
That's just sour cream
Or
in
creme
there.
fraiche, you know, but I love sour cream actually.
Or butter.
My wife put both. She likes both butter and sour
I'm
cream.
for her. That's
like it. Oh, that's
wonderful.
her.
Yeah.
But this is such a simple and delightful dish, you know, with a steak or with
And
anything.
it looks appetizing.
It is, looks good.
Everybody's favorite.
I have more potato here that's all baked, and I think we're going to do a kind of hash brown potato, and we have to peel them unless you like it with the skin.
I hate them with the
I
skin.
knew you would say that,
I
you know?
just hate it. Or potato salad with the skin in it.
Yes. No,
Kind
but
of bitter.
in the oven like that, I personally like the skin, only when it's in the oven like this.
Oh, yes.
But not for what we are doing, you know, sauteing them. You want to peel one
I'll
for me?
peel some. But
Right.
You have all the little
Oh,
knives.
here,
Oh, I
this is-
have
Oh,
one.
you have
Here's
a knife.
one. Here it
I
is.
didn't steal your knife. Those are just out of the oven, and they are very hot. But, you know, you could do that recipe by just boiling the potato. But when you put them in the oven like this, they really have a wonderful taste, you know?
Well, the hash browns you can make with any kind of cooked potato, can't you?
Yes, with any.
I think they're delicious. I just love them.
And for this, you know, we need a couple of pounds of potato for that recipe. Hash brown, where we call that pomme macaire in French. It's slightly different.
Just to make it sound fancy.
Yes, absolutely, see? Now, I'm going to put a little bit of canola oil in there, of like a good 2 tablespoons at least.
You use canola oil for when you say vegetable
A piece of
oil.
butter.
You use that.
Well, I don't like to use a generic vegetable oil that I don't know what it is. I like to use an oil that I know what it is. One way of cutting it, you know, I like to use a can open on both hands, you know. I learned that when I was at Howard Johnson.
Oh, you
When I was working
I
at
almost
Howard
forget
Johnson.
you were there.
Yes, working at Howard Johnson a long time.
I know
with
Jim
beer.
Beard has a recipe for hash browns, and he always cuts them with that.
With this, yeah, yes. So, what we'll do now, we put them to cook. And we want to do like a gâteau with it, you know? So what we want to do first is to put some nutmeg, you know, that I have here. And I have your wonderful nutmeg machine there.
Yes.
You know, this is great. It slides
You
the
don't want to
nutmeg.
have so much nutmeg that people say, oh,
No, that's true.
nutmeg, do you?
That's true, you know, but the nutmeg people should know that you should use the real nutmeg like this, you know, rather than the powder. Or even use a knife, you know, to scrape it like this, you know.
No, that's going to make an awful lot of nutmeg, don't you
No,
think?
that's be fine. That's
All
going to
right,
be
I
great.
hope so.
Did you put salt, pepper in it?
No, I didn't put anything in.
Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of pepper, some salt. And what you want to do, of course, is to mix it. So this we want to cook for 5 minutes, nice brown, and then in the oven until it's brown so that we can unmold it like a cake.
Now, and then another method of doing this, you have your potatoes and you cut them any way you want.
And then you saute them, you have to do like an omelette. Yeah, right.
And then you keep mashing them down, but they stay in pieces, which is nice.
I like that one.
I like the other one.
Sure. Now I'm going to give you, we're going to do mashed potato.
We are.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
So we have potato boiling here. We have a lot of potato. So I'll put it this way to drain. Here is your mixer bowl.
Yeah.
About as much as this.
And if we had more room, I would put this in a pan first and then put it over
on
the
top
heat.
of the stove to dry it out.
Dry it all out.
Yes, to take the moisture out of it. Right.
So I'll pretend I've done enough there
Okay.
to dry it all out. Then in it goes to the mixer. This is going to be nice plain mashed potatoes.
Okay.
I'm not going to put a lot of stuff in.
Milk.
Hot milk. That has to be hot milk and
Hot
cold
milk.
butter. You could put some cream in. You can put in as much butter as you want. But I think that's probably enough. Let's see how it is. Okay. Do you want to take a little taste there?
Is it good?
Good.
Good.
Let's take this off.
I put them on. You want them?
And then I think
Want
this
them
is
here?
terribly necessary when you're all by yourself cooking Thanksgiving dinner. You can do it ahead. I just put it in a pan of lightly simmering water and put the cover on, but always leave a little air space. I did these one time, I guess it was over at the Boston University Cooking School, and I didn't have the spoon in it, and people kept covering it airtight. But it does pick up an off taste if it's...
You think so?
I think so, if it's...
I never heard that one.
Well, try it,
Okay.
and you'll see. But always leave that little space of air, and you'll never have any trouble.
I think that now the potato, you see the way they slide?
Yeah, very nice.
I know they are nicely brown around.
You're
So
gonna
now we're
flip
going to
them
put them
now?
in the oven.
You're not going to flip it over.
No.
No.
We put them in the
All
oven.
right.
They have to brown on top a little bit. Well, I think it must be ready now. Ash brown mashed potato. Yeah, it looks good. Brown a little bit on top. So what we are going to do is to unmold it. You know, I love those lids that you have here.
Oh,
This
I
is
got
the
these
old-
way back in '48 at the flea market in Paris.
No kidding.
They're wonderful.
You know, they fit any pan, and in addition, they are great as a spatula to unmold something like
Look at
this.
that.
Look at that, you
Look,
see?
that's beautiful, isn't it?
And then to slide it underneath
Yeah.
here. That's great. But then, when I was at the Plaza Athénée in Paris, we used to make it even more luscious by putting cream on top of it.
Is that
So
sour
you can
cream?
serve it one way or the other. Well, we used to use crème fraîche,
fraîche.
but there I'm using sour cream, yes. I like sour cream,
Well, you
actually.
could mix sour cream and whipped cream.
Yeah, that would be close to
Close to
what we do in
crème
France. And some Gruyere here, or other type of cheese like this.
Now, this would be good if you happen to be a vegetarian. You could make your whole meal out of this.
Well, yes, it depends whether some vegetarian may not even want milk, you know.
Well, we have not invited them.
Okay, so I'm going to put that under the broiler for a
Okay.
couple of minutes. And,
Well, while you're doing
Let
it,
it
I'll
brown.
finish my garlic mashed potatoes.
okay.
So here's the garlic that's
So you strain your garlic there. When
And
you're
it's
mashing
been
it up. now.
simmered.
Oh, I see. You cook the garlic
in the cream.
in the cream, and you mash it up,
Well, that is completely mashed.
and the
Oh,
puree of
okay.
garlic,
Add it to the cream,
you put it back into the cream.
and that cream is reduced nicely.
Gosh,
Now we
yes.
can put that in our mashed potatoes. See, that's held very nicely.
All of it? Oh,
I
you
think
don't have
so.
that much.
Oh, yes, that's not so much.
Yes. It's sure going to be good.
It smells good. See, that's kept perfectly. Pork look lovely, don't they?
Nice plate of mashed potato. So, I have to make it smooth.
Oh, that's lovely.
And then maybe we put some chives here.
Or stick them on the top. Now that's lovely. That's nice. There you are, super mash.
Well, let me check my potato in the oven. Yeah, they are about just right.
That looks
Look
pretty
at that.
nice.
Yes. So I'm going to bring this around here.
That
As you
looks
know,
very nice.
better not touch that. This is really hot.
Yeah.
But you can eat the pomme macaire just by itself. But you know, it is nice if you really want to do a bit of a fancy party and serve it in a kind of wedge like this, you know.
That's pretty big.
Yes, it is. I love it. So there is some chive there. We leave the chive in it. Sure, it looks good. And so you have a piece of potato like this, you know.
Then you could put some poached eggs around it. Or
That's
some
right.
bacon.
That looks great, doesn't it?
It does.
Why don't you taste it
Oh, I
now?
will taste on it. It looks delicious. I like that very much. And that could certainly be the main course for a meal. Good, nice
Absolutely.
recipe.
Thank you.
We're going to do two famous gratin dishes, that's scallop potato dishes. One is with milk, and the other was with onion and stock.
That's right, chicken stock. So,
I'm going to do the milky